Hey everyone, welcome back to Matthew's Sports Analysis. Today we're doing more weekly picks, and so far this season we're 55 and 25. Teams on their bye week this week include the 49ers, Falcons, Jets, and Saints, so if you're a fan of these teams, you can take the week off. In the meantime, let's get right into week 6 and the teams that play this week. The Buccaneers are coming off of a 45-17 win against Miami, and Tom Brady doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon. The 4-1 Bucs team will go up against an inconsistent Eagles team, coming off of an impressive win against Carolina. Philly will need a few big plays from their secondary to beat this team, and I think it's possible, but I just don't see it happening. Give me the Bucs, 31-23. This Jaguars team is ugly. After 20 consecutive losses, they're going against a team described by NFL.com as either a good team in a bad slump or a bad team in the middle of a rough year. This is the Dolphins. But it's tough to bet the farm on the Jags, though, even if they have some soul-searching to do. I'd like to apologize to London for the lack of competition in the games we've provided for them. I'll give this one to Miami, but it's not going to be the most entertaining matchup, and I'm not going to be waking up for it. Give me the Dolphins, 23-10. The Vikings seem to be a team good enough to challenge whoever their opponent is, but not tough enough to keep that lead. The division has a tough schedule, and if Minnesota can hardly compete with this Lions team, they won't be winning a lot this year. Their opponent, in the Panthers, on the other hand, aren't in the same realm of skill level as the Lions, even if they're on a downhill slope. I'd imagine Minnesota takes momentum and rolls to a decent amount of points, but it's not enough to take down Carolina, especially with Christian McCaffrey returning. Give me the Panthers, 31-23. This has game of the week potential for me, as Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson are playing at elite levels. Monday night's win against Indy was enough to convince me that Baltimore is legit, and they'll be competing in the AFC North. That being said, their momentum could potentially run into a brick wall this week against this red-hot Chargers team. This will be an all-out battle between the two quarterbacks, but Herbert will continue to impress and lead his team to victory. Give me the Chargers, 31-27. The Giants had a great showing against Dallas before Daniel Jones went down. Keeping up against one of the NFL's top offenses is tough to do, especially with that defense. Unfortunately for Giants fans, they're going up against an arguably best team in football without Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. This one won't be close. Give me the Rams, 38-17. The Colts blew a huge lead against the Ravens on Monday night, and although it's a short week for Indy, the Texans are the perfect team for a Colts rebound. Davis Mills has been struggling for Houston, but expect him to improve, and Indy rolls over Houston. Give me the Colts, 27-14. Arguably the two biggest disappointments of the season so far, but both teams need this win. With both defensive struggling, Kansas City comes out on top as Mahomes has his revival this week. Washington has an impressive performance from Taylor Heineke, who keeps things closer than Chiefs fans would like. Give me the Chiefs, 34-21. The Packers are playing inconsistent football so far this season. After a dominant performance against Detroit, they've been keeping their wins a little too close for comfort. Mason Crosby, among other kickers, had an interesting game last week to say the least, and kicking field goals won't get easier in the Windy City. Green Bay's playing against Jair Alexander, and Chicago finally has a decent quarterback at the helm. Expect Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney of the Bears to have career days as Fields and the defense lead Chicago to a close victory as long as the Bears' offensive line holds up. Give me the Bears, 21-17 in a shocker. Joe Burrow and the Bengals are coming off of a tough loss against that Green Bay team that I just talked about, but it's nothing to be ashamed of. Kicking was an issue for everyone last week, and it costed them the win. Lucky for them, they're facing a Lions team that's been decimated all year, but I believe they'll have a better showing. Detroit will have some soul-searching to do after this one because they'll be defeated again, sending them into a downward spiral at 0-6. That being said, give me the Bengals, 27-13. The Cardinals didn't play well offensively last week against San Francisco, and they'll be facing a tougher defense against Cleveland this week. The Browns have a few keys to victory here, unlocking the passing game again, and draining the clock with a run, as they'll be doing this with ease as Chandler Jones, one of the defensive pieces that are crucial for Arizona, is out this week. Arizona will be handed their first loss of the season, and Baker Mayfield will silence all the haters. Give me the Browns, 31-26. These two teams barely squeaked out wins against two mediocre teams last week, and since Davis Mills picked New England apart last week, Dak Prescott will do the same with his own receiving core, leading them to another win this week. Give me the Cowboys 36-28. Las Vegas is in shambles after losing their head coach due to an email controversy that we will not be covering on this channel. Vegas has to regroup as a team to come up big this week, and I really like how the Broncos are playing this year. With this being a big divisional matchup, I think Denver takes advantage of a tough situation and wins this one at home. Expect this series between the two will be split at the end of this season, but give me the Broncos this week 24-14. The Seahawks lost Russell Wilson last week due to a finger injury, and Geno Smith will step in at quarterback for Seattle. With Ben Roethlisberger having a rough play week in and week out, expect this to be a story between the defenses. Ultimately, Geno Smith surprises people with an impressive QB play, which scores enough to conquer Pittsburgh. Give me the Seahawks 23-14. The Bills looked really good against Kansas City last week, and they're easily making a case for top 3 in the league on both sides of the ball. Tennessee isn't doing great on the defensive side of things, but they'll need to come up big this week to stop the Bills from rolling over them. This will not happen, as Josh Allen makes his case for MVP. Give me the Bills 31-17. For more weekly predictions as the season goes on, projections between specific players, and coverage between just about all sports, click the subscribe button. If you have any suggestions or ideas for me to cover on the channel, leave them in the comments below. Lastly, if you like the video, tell me by clicking on the like button. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time. So the NBA season's coming up, and I will be putting out some content starting next week for the NBA season. I'm really looking forward to putting out some basketball content, so stay tuned for final standing predictions and playoff predictions before the season actually starts. If you guys aren't NBA fans, still keep an eye out for the rest of the content and everything, because I'm really enjoying putting out some football content for you guys. So that's it from me, and this week, enjoy your football this weekend and have a great weekend.